Have you ever walked into a room and felt, almost instantly, like you didn't belong? Or maybe you've scrolled through a feed and a wave of comparison just hits you out of nowhere. You see someone's highlight reel, and a quiet, critical voice in your head whispers, "See, you're not doing enough, you're not good enough." These aren't random feelings, they're signals. What if your snap judgments about others, and especially about yourself, are actually your inner story showing up on the surface? What if the world you see isn't just the world as it is, but the world as are? This is the core idea we're going to explore, and it's based on a timeless principle, the Law of Correspondence. Simply put, it means as within, so without. Your internal world, your thoughts, your beliefs, your feelings about yourself, acts like a powerful lens. It doesn't just color what you see, it actively shapes and writes the world you experience every single day. If your inner world is filled with self-criticism and doubt, that lens will find evidence everywhere to prove those feelings right. But if it's grounded in self-worth and kindness, you'll start to see opportunities, connection, and proof of your own value just as easily. Your brain is built for this. It's a master of efficiency. In just a few seconds, you can read a room, get a vibe from a new person, or make a call on a situation. Psychologists call this thin slicing. It's your brain taking a tiny sliver of experience and comparing it to a vast internal library of past events and beliefs. This inner model decides fast, often before you're even consciously aware of it. It's a survival mechanism designed to keep you safe by predicting outcomes. But here's the catch. What if the model it's using is outdated? What if it's running on old beliefs that say you're not worthy or capable? That's where self-worth comes in. Self-worth, the lens. It's the fundamental, unconditional belief that you are valuable, whole, and deserving of love and respect simply because you exist. It's not something you earn through achievements, likes, or getting things right. It's your baseline. It's the anchor. Confidence, on the other hand, is how you move through the world that lens. It's the trust in your ability to handle things, to learn, to try, and to bounce back. Confidence is built through action, but it's fueled by self-worth. Without that solid foundation of worthiness, confidence can be fragile, rising and falling with every success or failure. Today, we're going to tune both. We'll work on strengthening your core self-worth and building resilient confidence on top of it. The goal is to recalibrate your inner model so that life's moments, the big tests, the small interactions, the quiet minutes alone, start to tilt in your favor. Not because the world changes, but because you've changed the way you see it and yourself in it. And this isn't about adding more pressure to your life. There will be no lectures or complicated theories you have to memorize. This is about giving you simple, practical tools, mental reps, small environmental tweaks, and new ways of thinking that you can actually use. These are things you can do in the 5 minutes between classes, while you're waiting for the bus, or right before you fall asleep. They are designed to fit into the life you're already living. The most powerful truth to start with is this: you are not your thoughts. You are the one who notices them. Thoughts will come and go. Anxious thoughts, critical thoughts, happy thoughts, like clouds passing in the sky. But you are the sky. You have the power to choose which thoughts you engage with, which ones you believe, and which ones you simply let float by. You are the author of the inner model they come from, which means you also have the power to edit it. So, let's begin. You don't need to wait for the right moment or until you feel ready. The practice of building self-worth starts right where you are, with what you have. It starts now. It's a journey of 1,000 miles, but it begins with a single step. One cue, one choice, one small action taken in your own favor. Consider your environment. There's a concept called the broken windows theory, which suggests that visible signs of disorder, like a broken window, can encourage more disorder and crime. The same principle applies to our personal lives. A tidy space can subtly change your behavior. Walking through cleaner, more orderly school halls can invite calmer, more intentional movements. This is the broken windows theory, teen edition. Your external world is a feedback loop for your internal one. This is the essence of our work together. Shift something on the inside, a belief, a self-critical thought, and tweak something in your outside space. A sticky note, a clean desk, an inspiring lock screen. Then just watch. Watch how the outside world begins to follow the new map you're drawing. Here's how it works. Your core beliefs about yourself, I'm awkward or I'm capable, become powerful filters. These filters are like gatekeepers for your attention. They scan the millions of bits of data you encounter every day and decide what your brain gets to highlight. If you believe you're awkward, your filter will expertly spot every clumsy step, every fumbled word, every person who isn't smiling at you, and present it as evidence. But you can build a new loop. Small, intentional practice becomes proof. When you choose to do one small, kind thing for yourself, you create a piece of evidence. When you write it down or acknowledge it, that proof gets stronger. And enough proof, collected over time, loops back and starts to update the original belief. It's a cycle you can consciously create. Think about it like the famous story of spaghetti sauces. For years, food companies offered a few standard flavors. But when a researcher named Howard Moskowitz embraced variety and looked for what people wanted, he discovered there wasn't one perfect sauce. There were many. Success exploded when the variety on the shelf matched the real tastes of the people. It's the same with building self-worth. There isn't one right way. You have to find your flavor first. What feels genuinely kind and supportive to? The truth your brain sees can be trained. It's a skill. By consciously choosing to repeat the version of reality you want to live in, the one where you are worthy, capable, and kind to yourself, you are literally training your brain to spot the evidence for that truth. You are teaching your filter what to look for. Let's make this concrete. Self-worth is the internal knowing. I am enough, right now, before I perform, before I post, before I achieve anything. My value is inherent. It's a quiet, steady foundation. It's the feeling of being on your own side, no matter what. Confidence is the active trust built on that foundation. I can handle what comes next. I can learn this. I can survive a mistake. I can try again. It's not about knowing you'll succeed. It's about knowing you'll be okay, even if you don't. It's built one rep at a time. When you cultivate both, they profoundly shape the hallway you walk through every day. The path doesn't change, but your experience of it does. Choices feel clearer. Setbacks feel less personal. Interactions feel less threatening. You walk with a different kind of energy because you're not constantly seeking validation from the outside world. You're bringing it from within. So let's take a moment. Right here, right now, take a slow breath in. Feel the air fill your lungs. This is a reset, a chance to interrupt the old automatic patterns. Today, you will learn the tools to change the inside, to upgrade your inner model from one of criticism to one of compassion. And as you do, the outside will have no choice but to mirror it back to you. Sometimes fast, in an instant shift of perspective, and sometimes slow, as new proof builds over time. The journey starts with this breath. Your day is a mirror. It reflects back to you not just what you do, but who you believe you are. So, take a gentle look. What patterns keep repeating? What scenes play out over and over? Maybe it's the feeling of your stomach dropping when you're asked to share an idea in class, or the way you find a reason to cancel plans at the last minute. These aren't random events. They are reflections of your inner world, echoes of the stories you tell yourself. Spotting these patterns is the first step toward choosing a different reflection, one rooted in self-worth and kindness. It's not about judgment, it's about awareness. This awareness is an act of self-love in itself. You're paying attention to your own experience with care. Think about the last time you were about to post something or send a text to a new friend. That split-second pause before you hit send. That's a thin slice of what will they think? It's a moment where the fear of judgment feels louder than your own voice. In that tiny gap, a whole story unfolds. A story about whether you're cool enough, smart enough, or funny enough. This hesitation is a signal. It's your inner mirror showing you a belief that your value is determined by other people's approval. But what if you used that pause not for self-doubt, but for self-reassurance? A quick, silent, "What I have to say matters, because I matter." That's how you begin to reclaim your space. Avoidance is a tiny tip toward doubt. Every time you dodge a challenge, stay quiet when you have an opinion, or put off a task because you're afraid you won't do it perfectly. You're casting a vote for the idea that you aren't capable. Each small retreat reinforces the doubt. It's like you're telling yourself, "See, I couldn't even do that." But the opposite is also true. One small step can tip momentum toward belief. Just one. Raising your hand even if your voice shakes, sending the text, starting the first paragraph of that essay. These aren't just actions. They are statements of self-trust. Each one sends a powerful message back to yourself. I can handle this. I am willing to try. This is how self-esteem is built, not in giant leaps, but in small, consistent acts of courage that prove your capability to yourself. And then there's the comparison trap. When you scroll, you're not just looking at pictures, you're often measuring your life against a highlight reel. Comparison runs on a skewed dataset. Your wins are undercounted. The algorithm doesn't show your quiet moments of kindness, the effort you put into your homework, or the time you were a good friend. It only shows the polished end product of someone else's life. Your own progress, your resilience, your unique journey. All of it gets erased from the equation. Remember, your behind the scenes can't be compared to someone else's main stage. True self-worth is non-comparative. It's about honoring your own path. So, how do we start to see our own wins? Small care made visible equals self-value in action. It's in the way you make your bed in the morning, the way you take a moment to smooth your jacket or adjust a necklace. These aren't acts of vanity. They are micro-rituals of respect. You're communicating to yourself through your own hands that you are worthy of care and attention. It's a quiet, physical way of saying, I value you. Cues and sticky notes are broken windows in reverse, tiny fixes that nudge better choices. An affirmation on your mirror, a reminder on your phone's lock screen. These are environmental nudges. They interrupt the old, automatic thought patterns and offer a new direction. A note that says, my effort is enough, can be the circuit breaker for perfectionism. A reminder to breathe can stop anxiety in its tracks. You are curating your environment to be a reflection of the self-love you want to cultivate. Small drops, big ripples, the tip begins small. Every single one of these actions, the moment of courage, the act of self-care, the sticky note, is a drop in the water. It might feel insignificant in the moment, but it creates ripples that expand outward, slowly but surely changing the entire surface of your self-perception. To make this practical, let's run a thought audit. This is how you map the patterns you're seeing in the mirror. Grab a notebook and draw 3 columns: thought, feeling, action. This isn't a test. It's a tool for compassionate curiosity. Now map the chain fast. Thought to feeling to action. Spot the tipping point. Let's take an example. The thought. Everyone in this group chat is funnier than me. The feeling that follows? Maybe insecurity, a knot in your stomach. And the action? You stay silent. You don't share that funny meme you found. The tipping point was the initial thought. That's the seed. Swap the seed, change the fruit, test a new thought for one scene. You can't just stop a thought, but you can replace it. This is where the inner coach comes in. The critic says, everyone is funnier than me. The kind, compassionate coach might say, I have my own unique sense of humor, and it's okay if not everyone gets it. Or even simpler, I'm going to share this because I think it's funny. Now, what feeling does that new thought create? Maybe a little bit of nervousness, but also a flicker of confidence. And the action, you hit send, you share, you participate, you just change the entire outcome of that scene by swapping one single thought. 5 minutes daily is enough. Field notes, not a novel. This isn't about writing pages and pages. It's about capturing one moment, one chain reaction. Think of it as taking field notes on your own mind. A few minutes of focused attention is more powerful than hours of vague worry. Consistency is what builds the muscle of self-awareness. As you do this, you'll start to edit your inner captions, make them clear, coach-like, specific. The inner critic is vague and harsh. I'm so awkward. It's a dead end. The inner coach is specific and encouraging. That conversation felt a little bumpy. Next time, I can try asking a question to keep it going. I'm learning. Coach tone beats critic tone because it's future-focused. The critic keeps you stuck in the past, replaying mistakes. The coach acknowledges the effort and looks toward the next opportunity. It's the voice of a good friend, the voice of self-love. It says, "You're a work in progress, and that's a beautiful thing to be." Your body listens to your words. Say it, then stand like it. When you tell yourself, "I am capable," your body responds. After you practice a coaching thought, take a moment to embody it. Roll your shoulders back, lift your chin, take a deep, grounding breath. Let your posture reflect the self-respect you're cultivating in your mind. This physical shift sends a feedback loop to your brain, reinforcing the new belief. Change the script. Watch scenes tip. Microsignals become habits. At first, it feels like an effort. You have to consciously catch the critic and call in the coach. But with practice, these new thoughts become more automatic. The microsignals of self-compassion and encouragement build into powerful habits of self-love. You'll start to notice the reflection in the mirror looks different. It looks more like someone you trust, someone you admire, someone you love. That's your mirror shifting. The inner critic sounds certain because it's a familiar story. It's a voice that has been rehearsing its lines for years, often borrowing from past hurts, old fears, or critical words we've heard from others. It's a well-worn neural pathway in our brain, a default setting that can feel like the absolute truth. But here's the secret. Its certainty is just a habit, not a fact. It's a protective mechanism that has gone into overdrive, trying to keep you safe by keeping you small. The first step in quieting this critic isn't to fight it, but to understand it. To see it not as an enemy, but as a misguided part of you that needs compassion, not control. This is an act of self-love, recognizing that even the harshest parts of you are trying in their own way to help. To begin creating that space, we need to separate ourselves from the voice. Label it, give it a name, to get distance from it. You could call it the critic, the judge, or even something silly like Gremlin Radio. The name doesn't matter as much as the act of naming itself. When that familiar voice starts up, you're going to fail. You're not good enough. Everyone thinks you're awkward. You can say to yourself, that's just the critic talking. This simple act of labeling externalizes the thought. It's no longer an undeniable truth coming from the core of who you are. Named, it becomes an echo, not a command. It's just noise, a broadcast from an old station you no longer have to tune into. You can observe it, notice its tone, and then consciously choose not to let it direct your actions. You are the listener, not the voice. This distance is where your power lies. It's the space where you can choose a different response, one rooted in self-respect and kindness. Once you've labeled the thought, run it through 3 simple but powerful filters. Ask yourself, is it true? Is it 100% objectively true with no exceptions? Often the critic deals in absolutes like always and never, which are rarely accurate. Next, ask, is it helpful? Does this thought empower me, move me toward my goals, or help me learn and grow? Or does it just paralyze me with fear and self-doubt? Finally, and most importantly, ask, is it kind? Is this how I would speak to a friend I care about who is in the same situation? If the answer to these questions is no, if the thought is not true, not helpful, and not kind, then it's not your voice to follow. It's just static from the critic. This isn't about ignoring reality or pretending challenges don't exist. It's about refusing to accept a narrative that tears you down. It's a profound act of self-love to decide that you deserve better internal dialogue. You are worthy of kindness, especially from yourself. Now, it's time to actively delete the script. You've identified the critic's line, you've filtered it, and you've decided it's not serving you. The next step is to consciously replace it with a kinder, truer line. If the critic says, "You're going to mess this up," your new line might be, "I am prepared and I will do my best." This is an opportunity to learn. If the critic says, "No one likes you," your compassionate voice can reply, "I am a kind person and I am worthy of friendship." This isn't about lying to yourself. It's about choosing a more balanced, supportive, and realistic perspective. To find this new voice, speak to yourself like a coach would to a close friend. Imagine your best friend is feeling down, saying the exact same things your inner critic is telling you. What would you say to them? You wouldn't agree with their critic. You'd remind them of their strengths, their past successes, their inherent worth. You'd offer encouragement, perspective, and unconditional support. Now turn that same compassionate, wise, and loving voice inward. You deserve that same level of care. Then, collect proof. Small data points that support the new story. Your inner critic has been collecting evidence against you for years. It's time to build a stronger case for yourself. At the end of each day, write down 3 things that prove your new, kinder story is true. Did you try something new? That's proof of courage. Did you rest when you were tired? That's proof of self-respect. Did you say a kind word to someone? That's proof of your good heart. These aren't just wins. They are data points that build a foundation of self-esteem. To break the automatic pattern of self-criticism, set a cue to interrupt the loop. The critic thrives on autopilot. A simple interruption can be enough to break its spell. This could be a quiet alarm on your phone that goes off a few times a day, a specific word you say to yourself like, "pause," or a physical action like a gentle tap on your wrist. When the cue happens, your only job is to stop and notice your thoughts. Is the critic running the show? This is your moment to consciously shift. Often, the fastest way to shift your mind is to shift your body. State first. Straighten your spine, roll your shoulders back, breathe low into your belly, and consciously relax your jaw. The inner critic often creates physical tension, a clenched jaw, shallow breathing, hunched shoulders. By intentionally adopting a posture of calm confidence, you send a powerful signal to your nervous system that you are safe and in control. The mind will follow the body's lead. Here's a simple, powerful tool for an instant reset. It's a 10-second reset you can do anywhere, anytime. Place a hand on your belly. Inhale slowly for a count of 4, feeling your belly expand. Gently hold the breath for a count of 2. Then, exhale slowly for a count of 6, feeling your belly fall. Do this just twice. Inhale 4, hold 2, exhale 6. This simple act of self-love calms your nervous system and brings you back to the present moment, away from the critic's noise. To make your new compassionate voice as familiar as the old one, you need to rehearse it. Post the new line where you'll see it, on your bathroom mirror as your phone's lock screen on the first page of your notebook. Make it visible. Seeing the words, "I am capable and learning," or "I treat myself with kindness" throughout the day reinforces the message. It's like practicing scales for an instrument. You are training your brain to make this new thought its default. When you feel particularly overwhelmed by the critic, use 4-7-8 breathing to downshift fast. Inhale quietly through your nose for 4 seconds. Hold your breath for a count of 7 seconds. Then, exhale completely through your mouth, making a whoosh sound for 8 seconds. This is 1 breath. Repeat the cycle 3 more times. This technique is a potent tranquilizer for the nervous system, creating a state of deep calm. Calm widens options. Confidence gets easier. When your nervous system is in a state of fight or flight, your thinking becomes narrow and rigid. The critic's voice seems like the only option, but when you introduce calm, your perspective broadens. You can see other possibilities, other interpretations, other ways forward. From this place of calm, choosing self-compassion and taking confident action feels less like a battle and more like a natural choice. While calm, rehearse the entry into a challenging situation. Don't just think about it. Visualize it. See yourself taking the first step, saying the first words. If you're nervous about a presentation, rehearse your opening line. If you're anxious about a conversation, practice saying hello. This mental rehearsal builds familiarity and reduces the fear of the unknown, making the real thing feel much more manageable. Remember that micro courage today builds macro courage tomorrow. You don't have to defeat the inner critic and become fearless overnight. The goal is to take 1 small, brave step today. Raise your hand in class. Say hi to someone new. Post the art you made. Each tiny act of courage is a vote for your new story. It's another piece of evidence that proves the critic wrong. To disarm the critic's favorite weapon, fear of the unknown, write the worst case. Ask, what am I really afraid will happen? Write it down. Often, seeing it in black and white makes it less terrifying. Then, write the plan. If the worst case did happen, what is 1 small thing you could do to handle it? And what is your very first move? This shifts you from a state of helpless anxiety to empowered action. This brings us to a crucial mantra. Prepared beats perfect. The inner critic will tell you that you're not ready, that you need to be perfect before you can start. This is a trap designed to keep you stuck. You don't need perfection. You just need to be prepared enough to start. You need your first step, your kind voice, and the willingness to learn as you go. With these tools, the critic gets quiet. It may never disappear completely, but its voice becomes faint, distant, and unconvincing. You are the captain back at the helm, navigating with your own compass of kindness, wisdom, and self-respect. You are choosing your direction. New day, new story. Self-worth grows with evidence. Start counting it. Like in Outliers, count effort and assists, not just wins. Value who you are. Track effort alongside outcomes. Rest is respect. It sustains performance. Your worth isn't your performance. Make simple trophies, checked boxes, filled pages. Peace is proof too. Track the right things. Effort, recovery, gratitude. Protect attention. It fuels everything. Protect joy like a scarce resource. Wear what supports you. Cue calm. Protect your focus with boundaries and breaks. Say what you need. Out loud, early. Schedule yourself in. Put you on the calendar. Small rituals, repeated, become big roots. Unshakable worth. Daily visible reminders. Make it visible on walls, screens, and mirrors. Decluttered space, clearer mind, environment echoes inside. You're worthy. Full stop. Evidence saved. Your identity tipping point. Confidence is reps. Tiny, daily. Micro reps. Repeat small until easy. Misses are data, not drama. Adjust the loop. Try again. 1 small problem solved each day compounds. Start so small it feels silly. Track attempts, not outcomes. Courage is contagious. Find your people. Ritual before action makes bravery automatic. 3, 2, 1, go. Stand tall. Posture programs the mind. Sip water. Count breaths. Begin. Prepare the first move. Skip perfection. Rehearse your start and your finish. Short, frequent sessions beat rare marathons. Watch, adjust, improve. Aim for progress over perfect. Each rep builds self-trust. Upward is a direction, not a speed. Keep going. Reps win. Your feed is a curated mirror. Unfollow to unfeel. Follow fuel, not fire. Less scroll, more soul. Trade consumption for creation. Create to learn who you are. Output beats outlook. Do a one-day reset. Small tweaks tip big. Outside clutter shouts. Clear space whispers focus. Order calms noise. Simple systems scaffold confidence. Growth needs light. Protect your space. Silence is strength. Choose inner labels with care. Fresh air, fresh thoughts. Environment echoes identity. Wind down to recharge. Space set, self-set. 3-minute reset starts now. Minute 1, breathe, inhale 4, hold 2, exhale 6, repeat. Still, minute 1, shake arms, roll neck, loosen your jaw on the exhale. Minute 2, pick one next action, simple and clear. Momentum over mood, start tiny. Stack one win, feel your state shift. Energy follows action, keep the breath steady. Approval starts with your own. Tell yourself, I've got me. Minute 3, visualize first person, like a movie. Add body cues, feet grounded, shoulders easy. Layer sounds, textures, and feelings into the scene. Rehearse success in micro beats. Open, begin, finish. Also rehearse recovery. If you snag, pause, breathe, continue. Break big into steps. A, then B, then C. Prepare props for the scene. Lay them out the night before. Reduce friction. Preload scripts and cues. Start with a guaranteed win. One easy move. Order outside, order inside. Clear space, clear mind. Anchor confidence in your body. Tall posture, soft jaw. Now act the scene. 3, 2, 1, go. Setbacks are practice in disguise. Iterate, don't isolate. Treat feedback as fuel. Block solution time on your calendar. Ask for support when you need it. Move through the mood. One small step. Resilience is a choice you repeat. Count tries and wins together. Here's your map. Inside shifts, outside mirrors. Pick one tool to use today. Keep it tiny and real. Repeat the identity you prefer. Start with, I am enough already. Confidence grows because you act. If this helped, join the journey. Like this so more teens see it. Comment your 1% goal below. Please share. Stay steady. Your world is catching up.